judge any luxury car by our car.
A butane lighter, please.
Which one?
Oh, they're all about the same.
I wish you hadn't said that.
He came, he opened the door, and he was screaming, "Come on, help me. Somebody shot my mother and father." And everyone ran out of the bar, and that was it. They all took off. No, I had to stay. I was tending off. They all jumped in his car and took off.
Today, police combed the DeFeo's handsome three-story house for clues while divers explored the backyard swimming pool for the still unfound murder weapon. Police have been questioning the son, Ronald, and now say he is being, quote, safeguarded. Investigators say without explanation that they now feel young DeFeo was in the house at the time of the murders, but they're not yet considering him a suspect.
And so forth. No suspect at this time. We
Ronald...
have no indication of the motive at this time.
What about Ronald DeFeo, the son, the surviving son?
Ronald is being safeguarded by the Suffolk County Police at this time.
Why safeguarded?
Why? Because there's 6 members of the family dead, and we don't know why, and he's the sole remaining member.
Is he also a suspect?
He's not a suspect at this time.
Few people in the neighborhood knew the family well, but those who did described them as close-knit.
Well, I think they were just very sweet, very religious people, very family-minded people. And that's about all I could say. Very good, very generous, this type. Very close with their children.
There's one element in the usual mass murder story which seems to be missing from this case. There's no sense of fear in this community. No feeling of a mass murderer on the loose. People we talked to seem to feel that whatever was the motive for this crime, it had something to do with the family. It's not something that's going to return to bother anyone else. In Amityville, Long Island, Phil Barno, News Center 4.
This had a full basement on the water with a boathouse, with a drive-in garage, with a pool. 4,000 square feet if you include the basement. When Kathy first walked into that house, in that foyer, her whole face lit up. Biggest smile you could imagine. She was home. This was where she wanted to live. It becomes apparent when you hear more and more about the family that they knew something was wrong but didn't really know how to talk about it to anyone else, let alone begin to explain it. It seems like evil won because we lost our house. Big deal. It took a while to get to the big deal part. It's only a house. We got to live. People before us didn't. People after us had life much worse that lived there. This was Missy's room. This was considered the best room in the house. She had an imaginary friend, what we considered imaginary friend then, that she called Jody. And Jody had the ability to appear to her as a very large pig, a very small pig, a little boy. It was one of those things you put down to as a kid's imagination. Over the years, we learned that Jody wasn't so much imagination. First thing I saw was actually seeing something moving in Missy's room when I was coming back from the boathouse. When I got back in the house and got upstairs, Kathy was still asleep. I had gone out to check the boat. I had gone out to check on why the boathouse door was open again. And I saw someone, adult size, moving around in Missy's room. That was quite disturbing, because I had no way to know what that was. And you start to one of the things that happens with these kinds of things is you start to question your own senses, what you're seeing. You question what you're thinking. Doubts slowly creep in to your mind. You become unsure of that which was always taken for granted. I saw it, so it had to be, and yet there's no way to explain that kind of. But when you add small things to it, Kathy being touched from behind, the door slamming and no evidence of that, the clock radio going off, the boathouse door opening at night, something walking around Mrs. room, the gelatin, the different sounds that would happen at different times, then you really do start to question your own sanity at some point. You do start to have these conversations with yourself about what's going on here. We would have friends come over and visit, and we'd sit around in the kitchen, and there'd be noises up overhead walking. Well, when you have other people coming into your house and telling you you're not crazy, you start questioning this. And the more you question it, the more things you learn, and maybe you shouldn't learn those things. We had one friend that came in and said, you should go through the house and bless the house yourself. You should go through each room, open a window, say the Lord's Prayer, tell whatever's there to leave. It'll go. Well, we did that a couple times. That didn't work. It got worse. More noises, more smells, more drips from the door handles. We would be lying in bed and we'd hear the front door, which was a very distinct sound, slam shut. Go run downstairs to see what it was. Dog's asleep right by the door. It wasn't the door, but it was that sound.